Have you ever found yourself caught in a delightful dilemma, debating between a vacation to the romantic streets of Paris, France, or the historic ruins of Rome, Italy? Both destinations are captivating, each boasting their own unique and beautiful offerings that can make choosing your next adventure quite the challenge. Hello, and welcome to VoyageVault. Today, we're excited to launch the first episode of a brand new series that's all about helping you make those tough travel decisions. We call it Destination Battles. And what better way to kick things off than with a showdown between two of Europe's most beloved cities? In this episode, we're pitting Paris, the city of lights, against Rome, the eternal city. We'll dive deep into what each city has to offer, comparing their attractions, costs, cultures, cuisines, and accessibility. Whether you're a foodie, a history buff, or just looking for the most bang for your buck, we've got you covered. By the end of this video, you'll have all the information you need to decide whether your next ticket should be booked for Paris or Rome. So let's travel into the heart of today's battle. Paris versus Rome. Which city is next on your travel bucket list? As we dive into our destination battle between Paris and Rome, let's start with a brief introduction to each city. In this section, we'll explore the origins, significance, and some quick facts about both Paris and Rome, setting the stage for a more detailed comparison of their attractions, culture, and more. Paris, often referred to as the City of Lights, is not only the capital of France, but also the heart of French culture and art. The city covers an area of about 105 square kilometers and has a population of over 2 million people. Historically, Paris was founded in the 3rd century BC by a Celtic tribe known as the Parisii, and it has been a major center of finance, commerce, fashion, science, and the arts ever since. The city's 19th century cityscape is crisscrossed by wide boulevards and the River Seine, and is known for landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame Cathedral, and the Louvre Museum, one of the largest and most visited museums in the world. Rome, on the other hand, is known as the Eternal City, is the capital of Italy, and was once the heart of the mighty Roman Empire. It covers approximately 1,285 square kilometers and has a population that exceeds 2.8 million. Founded in 753 BC, Rome's history spans more than 2,500 years, during which it has been a center of power, culture, and religion. The city is synonymous with its ancient monuments such as the Colosseum, the Forum, and the Pantheon, and is also the seat of the Roman Catholic Church, housing the Vatican City, an independent country within Rome's boundaries. Now on to attractions. So, when you're thinking about what to see in Paris and Rome, it's not just about the famous spots everyone talks about. Sure, they're worth a visit, but there are also some hidden gems that are just as cool. Let's explore both the iconic and the lesser known, and see what makes each city so captivating. For Paris, everyone knows the Eiffel Tower. You can't go to Paris and not see it. It's even more stunning in person, especially at night when it lights up the sky. Then there's the Louvre, a giant museum that was actually a royal palace once. It's packed with art from all over the world. You could literally spend days just wandering around. But let's not overlook some quieter spots like Canal Saint-Martin. It's the perfect place for a leisurely stroll or a break at a cozy cafe, watching the boats drift by. And if you love art, the Musée Rodin is a must-see. It's not just the sculptures that are impressive. The gardens are an oasis of calm right in the city center. And in Rome, stepping into the Colosseum is like traveling back in time. It's massive, and there's this incredible feeling of history all around you. Then, of course, there's the Vatican museums. From ancient statues to Renaissance frescoes, it's an art lover's paradise. And yes, Michelangelo's ceiling in the Sistine Chapel is as amazing as they say. But Rome has its secrets too. Take the Appian Way, one of the oldest roads in the city, lined with ancient ruins and echoing stories of the past. It's a history buff's dream. And for a taste of local life, you have to check out Trastevere. It's vibrant, full of life, and home to some of the best eateries where you can grab authentic Roman dishes. Talking about costs in Paris. Paris isn't known for being cheap, but there are ways to manage your budget. For staying overnight, you're looking at everything from fancy hotels that might cost a pretty penny to more budget-friendly hostels or Airbnb options. On average, expect to spend anywhere from $100 to over $300 per night, depending on how plush you want to go. When it comes to eating out, Paris can be a wallet's nightmare or a saver's dream, depending on where you dine. A meal at a standard restaurant can set you back about $15 to $20, but if you grab a croissant and coffee from a local bakery, you'll spend much less. And don't forget the street food like crepes. Delicious and affordable. Transportation is pretty straightforward. A single metro ticket costs just under $2, and you can get daily and weekly passes that save you a bunch if you're zipping around the city a lot. Entertainment like museum tickets and tours can vary. Some museums have free entry days, while others might charge $10 to $20 for admission. Remember, walking around and soaking in the city's vibes is free and always entertaining. And in Rome can be a bit more forgiving on the wallet. Accommodation options are plenty, with hotels averaging $70 to $200 per night. Like Paris, there are cheaper hostel options and Airbnbs, which might save you some euros. Food in Rome is a delight and can be quite affordable. A typical meal at a restaurant might cost between $12 and $20. For a real bargain, hit up local markets or grab a slice of pizza or a panini from a street vendor for a few euros. For getting around, Rome's public transport system includes buses, trams, and a metro, with a standard single journey ticket costing about $1.50. They also offer tourist passes that combine transport and entry to some attractions, which can be a great deal. Entertainment and sightseeing costs are similar to Paris. Many historical sites have an entry fee, but you can also find combination tickets that offer a good value, especially if you plan to hit multiple spots managed by the same organization. So, while both cities can tug at the purse strings, they also offer plenty of ways to save and still see all the amazing sights. Culture chat: Paris versus Rome. In Paris, the culture is vibrant and artistic. There's a museum for just about everything. The Louvre is just the tip of the iceberg. There's also the Orsay Museum with its stunning Impressionist art, and the Centre Pompidou for modern art lovers. Theaters are abundant, offering everything from classic French plays to experimental new works. And don't forget about the smaller galleries scattered throughout the city, each offering a unique peek into the local and international art scene. Rome, on the other hand, is like a giant open-air museum. Just walking through the streets feels like stepping back in time. The Vatican museums showcase some of the world's most famous art, but the city is also home to vibrant contemporary art scenes. Theaters in Rome offer a mix of opera, classical music performances, and modern plays, often set in breathtaking historic venues that make the experience even more special. Cuisine comparison. Flavorful journeys. Parisian cuisine is all about elegance and technique, from flaky croissants and freshly baked baguettes to sophisticated dishes like coq au vin. The café culture here is iconic. Sitting with a coffee at a street-side cafe is an experience in itself. Paris is also great for fine dining, with numerous Michelin-starred restaurants offering exquisite culinary experiences. Rome offers a hearty, rustic culinary tradition centered on fresh local ingredients. Think of classics like carbonara, amatriciana, and of course pizza, which is a staple here. The trattorias and pizzerias offer a more laid-back dining experience, but are no less delicious. And don't miss out on gelato for dessert. Enjoy it as you wander through the city's picturesque streets. Accessibility insights. Getting around, Paris is pretty well equipped for international visitors, with Charles de Gaulle and Orly airports connecting it globally. The public transport system is comprehensive, including metros, buses, and trains that cover the entire city. For those with mobility issues, many of the major sites and transport systems have been updated for better accessibility. Rome's Fiumicino and Ciampino airports serve as gateways to the city, with good connections to major international destinations. While Rome's cobbled streets and ancient infrastructure can be challenging, efforts have been made to improve accessibility at major tourist sites. Public transport includes buses and a metro system, though it's not as extensive as Paris's. So, let's wrap everything up and think about where you might want to head based on what you're looking to get out of your trip. Talking Paris. If you're someone who absolutely adores art, then Paris might just be your dream destination. The city is practically dripping with art, from classic works in the Louvre to cutting-edge exhibitions at the Centre Pompidou. And let's not forget about the food. Paris is heaven for anyone who appreciates culinary artistry. Whether it's sampling fresh pastries from a local bakery or dining at an upscale restaurant, the food scene is sophisticated and diverse. However, all this sophistication comes at a price. Paris is known for being on the pricier side, so if you're watching your budget, you might have to plan carefully. Also, while the city is well connected by public transport, it can get pretty crowded, especially during peak tourist seasons. And then there's Rome. Rome could be the perfect pick if you're a history buff. Walking through the streets of Rome is like wandering through a massive open-air museum. Every corner has a story, from the majestic Colosseum to the quiet ruins along the Appian Way. The food here is hearty and rooted in centuries-old traditions. Think carbonara and pizza, made simply but with incredible flavors. But Rome's historic charm also means it can be a bit challenging to navigate, especially for those needing more accessibility. The cobbled streets and older buildings are beautiful, but might not be the easiest to manage. Also, Rome's public transport isn't as extensive as Paris, which might be something to consider if you plan to explore widely. So, where should you go? If you love art, fashion, and fine dining, and don't mind splurging a bit, Paris could be your ticket to a fabulous vacation. On the other hand, if you're all about stepping back in time and enjoying hearty, delicious meals without breaking the bank, Rome will welcome you with open arms. Each city offers a unique experience that can cater to different desires and expectations. So which place is calling to you the most? Rome or Paris? Comment down below with your choice. I'm curious to hear what you think. If you're interested in more travel videos, click below to check out the top 10 safest countries for solo travelers. Until our next video, happy travels from VoyageVault.